You're listening to an episode recorded during the time Innovation Fuel was part of University Canada West. We are proud and grateful for the work we've done together, and we want to thank the university for being in our podcast. We are now excited to continue the journey of Innovation Fuel into its next chapter. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to Innovation Fuel. We are on all podcast streaming platforms, Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Visit our website at www.ucanwest.ca/innovationfuel. Also, follow us on Instagram at innovation_fuel.
Hello, Dave. How are you today?
Hey, I am doing great. And you?
I'm fantastic. Great.
Guess what?
What?
I wrote a book using Chat GPT.
What?
I did.
You did it? How?
Use Chat GPT. It's insane.
It's insane.
The artificial intelligence that we're faced with. God, I can put course outlines together. I could put different things together. I'm exploring all these different things. The book wasn't that good, but that's okay. We'll get the next one. But,
I was shocked about because you really checked the accuracy and relevancy as well.
I know, there's some questions there. But wow, what we're facing, we've talked about machine learning, we've talked about algorithms before, that element, but this whole new world of artificial intelligence has kind of taken another leap into this element. And yet, and I don't think we've looked deeper over on other sides of these businesses. Like we see the Chat GDP and we see this element, oh yeah, whatever, that's front end. But what about the back end? What about databases? What about other things out there? How can we leverage artificial intelligence to support that and support the growth of our business and the efficiency?
Yeah, it's in the Chat GPT era, I think that majority of society understand what the AI can do. But before Chat GPT, there was a lot of different usage for artificial intelligence. And so, for example, some performance optimization or predictive maintenance for our databases. That's one thing is where it's one thing how they use it. So I think that today's guests can help us to see the other use of artificial intelligence as well before the Chat GPT. Let's welcome Fabio Vieira and Hamid Farhadian from Farhadian Solutions. Welcome to another episode of Innovation Fuel. Welcome, Hamid. Welcome, Dave Keighron.
Yes, welcome to Innovation Fuel, brought to you by University Canada West. Before we get to our guest today, we might be talking about something very interesting, something that you students might be playing with, this world of AI. Ooh, AI, Chat GDP, those elements. I don't know. Where are these things coming from? Where is this new technology? So let's jump into our conversation. Let's have a little introduction to our two guests, Hamid and Fabio.
Hi, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Gelareh. This is Hamid. I'm managing the company called Farhadian Solutions. We do AI, BI, and data solutions. Yeah, that's what we do. We love it.
And we have also Fabio with us here too, who's working alongside Hamid.
I'm so happy to be here today. Like I told you a few minutes ago, since I arrived in Canada, I listened to the few podcasts innovation and I love it. And it's a dream for me to be here today. I used to be an entrepreneur in Brazil for many years. And a few years ago, I sold my company and decided to live abroad. So Canada is my new home and I'm restarting my career here at Farhadian Solution. Like a partner and channel director. And yeah, this is a new journey for me, and I'm very glad to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Wonderful. Now, can you tell us more about what is Farhadian Solutions? You said AI.
Basically, we create a solution that manage the databases, especially the SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server database. And this system is using the AI and machine learning to understand the database workloads and try to empower the DBAs to do more and be more productive. So a DBA that, let's say in a regular day, can manage maybe 10 to 20 database servers. With this tool, they can manage up to 100 or 200 database servers without, staying overtime and without waking up middle of the night and check the data. So they can do the work and the life balance. Is the same objective that we have. So we want to empower the DBAs.
I have a 5 years company that I'm using a database or have it for 5 years. Now you're going to have an application over that one and an AI application over that one that can help me for reporting.
It's actually helping you to maintain the databases and make sure the database is up and running. So just imagine it's a factory, and factory needs to work in 24/7, and their ERP system is very critical. Like it's connected to the assembly line, it's connected to the supply chain, and so on. And if the database goes down even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, the CEO will, make noise and say that, 200-300 employees, they are not working. The assembly line is stopped just because of the database is not up and running. So, in that situation, PT, the DBA guy, is always the blame goes to the DBA guy and say that, you didn't maintain the DB. And the DBA guy will say, I have many databases on hand and I don't really have time. So we need to add on the resources. So this tool actually empowered that DBA guy to ensure the database servers are always up and running. The performance is tuned. It even predicts the potential issues in terms of hardware failure, in terms of network failure, and so on, based on the statistics that it collects and based on the model that it has. So the DBA, it can even forecast what's going on or what it can happen in the next week or end of the month. Again, I cannot say that it's 100% accurate, but so far, based on what we receive from our client, the feedback is about 70 to 80% what our system is saying is become true. And that is good enough because that machine learning and AI, not 100% they can come out with the result. It has different factors that it impact the accuracy. We install the system, we install within half an hour, configure it, then it try to, diagnose the system and come out with all sort of recommendations, the changes into the database server. So we save a lot of money for our clients and, we save a lot of headaches for the DBAs as well and the IT team. So that's what we do. We use the AI. We don't try to replace people because a lot of people think that AI will replace job opportunities.
I just want to understand what exactly your tools are doing. So you are doing performance optimizing for database that still is there and predict the failure of data sets, the database you have it. And where do you install it? Is it if it's in the data center?
It has a small data gateway agent type of service that is very tiny, and all the data and the AI, the machine learning engines, all actually is installed on the cloud. We have a repository. So it's a shared tenant solution. Yeah, we don't need to install heavy things on the client side. Everything we have it on the cloud.
And even if my database is in the cloud, then you will be there. Otherwise, if it's a local data set, you will be there.
We can have it on premise. We can have it on cloud. Yeah, it's possible.
Let's simplify this a little bit because I think our audience needs to get our heads wrapped around this element. So you talked about ERPs. We've talked about probably most likely, I'm assuming you're doing with CRMs and other types of software like that element. Do you have a specific business that it best fits, or does it work for all businesses, or does it only work for businesses that are in the sort of development of product or development of those elements?
Basically, it applies to all kind of industries. As long as they use the Microsoft SQL Server, which our system is designed for, then they can use it. I mean, it can be different industry like manufacturing, bank, insurance. It can be healthcare.
More than predictive maintenance, performance optimizations, how your tools can be useful for the company.
Oh, okay. Basically, it can communicate with the user. So the DBA, they can just send an email to our agent, the server. Not the agent as a human agent, is the email address that belongs to the system. So the system will do the NLP, try to understand what is the request, and it can respond to the DBA or it can perform the job. So like, for example, if the DBA is on vacation and say that, okay, can you check this server for me? just through an email, then the AI DBA will interpret it with NLP and try to understand what's the request. If it doesn't understand, it will reply back and say that, can you fill up a form, like something like that. If it tried to understand and 100% understand it, then it will try to execute the request. So if, let's say, there's an email from unauthorized people, then it will reply and say that you are not authorized, and it will CC to all those authorized people. And it try to minimize those hacking or hijacking scenarios. And also our system, it doesn't really follow all the commands and the rules. If the DBA say, can you shut down the server? It will never do it. It never does like shut down, drop, delete. No, because it become a problem. Yeah.
So it would be as a database admin assistant kind of.
True. And also it can work as a autopilot because we have two modes for it. By default is the Copilot, which is admin assistant. But some companies, they don't have even the DBA or junior DBA or even IT. So they say that, okay, fine, let us go through with the autopilot. So the autopilot will just send the notification and say, okay, I'm going to do the maintenance during this time. And based on the statistics, this day and this time is considered as non-peak hours because it understands the pattern of the workload. Then it will say that it runs. Once it's completed, it sends another notification and say it's completed.
Okay, so even data cleansing.
No, those kind of thing, no, it doesn't do that. But let's say you have a SQL Server farm, like in a bank, we have many SQL Server instances. We install, so this AI DBA will scan through the network. It will identify all the SQL instances that are available. If we enroll the SQL instance, then AI DBA will do the statistics checks and so on. We'll say, okay, server ABC, you can consolidate into server D. Then the company, they will realize that, oh, yeah, the resources are sufficient and they can save a lot of money in terms of licensing. And if they agree, AI DBA can do it automatically as well. Again, so every task, it will be automatically. So if, let's say, AI DBAs think that, oh, the database workload is high and they have almost, zero non-peak hours during a day or during a week, it will consider it as the critical environment. Then it will suggest whether need to have high availability and disaster recovery. And again, it will find out any server nearby of the target server. It can be a candidate. Once it identified, then it will say, okay, why not we do the HADR with the other server? If agreed, then it will do it automatically.
So it's really, really interesting. I have another question. So if we have quite like small businesses, small or medium businesses that using FART solutions as an admin assistant, DBA admin assistant, and they have no others kind of human side of support. So who is communicate with? It means what AI is communicating to whom if they have no IT expert?
In that case, we have a support team that they can monitor that AI DBA for those kind of clients as well. So we can do that. So I'm just going to brief you until today that we launched AI DBA 2 years ago. And until today, it managed daily basis about 2,800 databases on daily basis. And the system doing it, doing the health check, coming out with the recommendations. Some of it is Copilot, some of it is autopilot, and managing everything.
Awesome. That is really interesting. Dave, do you have questions? I have so many questions.
Yeah, no, I'm intrigued by this whole thing, and I'm trying to wrap my head around. And I think where I'm getting to is that this becomes a supplement to a database administrator. This becomes a supplement, either a support, meaning a leverage point, or even to a point where it could actually replace the database administrator. But it doesn't have the capabilities of cleaning the data and presenting the data in a way, in a sort of a display element, so that we're in our dashboard where an organization can quickly go, okay, I can make this decision. You still need a fundamental piece in between.
I basically don't want to say that it replaced the DBA because it's using the AI and machine learning. Sometimes based on the machine learning, the decision that it come out, something is right and it can do it. But when it comes to the human and our decision, we say, no, it's not right. So that's why a lot of companies, they want to use it as a co-pilot instead of autopilot. I just want to give you an example. It says that, okay, you can do the high availability and disaster recovery between two different servers. Technically, AI DBA say that it's possible and it can able to implement. But when it comes to the management decision making, they will say that these two servers belongs to two different systems. And based on the ITIL policy and the management, we should not mix these two. So when you look at it, AI is saying that it's possible technically, but the management say that no, it's not, based on the rules and the policies that we have. Again, it doesn't replace the DBA.
But Hamid, wouldn't it not be, if it's artificial intelligence, it's learning, isn't it? Isn't it eventually learning the sequence? And couldn't it not eventually be able to work out the system and say, okay, well, you said no to this before, but yes to this. So it's actually now it's almost articulating itself. Like I don't think what students are going to understand if we look at Chat GPT, for an example, out there right now. With the first version, okay, there was a lot of iterations, but over the last few versions, we're starting to see more accuracy in the delivery of that element.
True. The Chat GPT product, yes, you can just say it because we can use it as a personal use. We can just do some research or ask a question. It doesn't have much harm. If let's say you ask how to make a recipe for the cake, then it will come out with a recipe for you. If you fail to make that cake through that recipe, it doesn't harm much. Maybe you just lose few eggs and some flour. But when it comes to the corporates that they are going to leave the DB and the database server to the AI, and if the AI recommends something that, even though technically is okay and it's still learning, and we see the accuracy is increasing, but if there is anything happen, is a database server and is a business. It's not just few eggs and a flour. So yeah, as you are saying, maybe perhaps in the next 5 years, 10 years, when the new technology come and new ML algorithms and the AI solutions come, perhaps we can enhance this solution and try to make it as replaceable. But for the time being, no, we cannot replace the DBAs basically.
Yeah, I don't think that we can compare it with ChatGPT, your solutions. But this is another layer on the data set. And so I want to know that is what is the data analytics they do it. I'm talking more than maintenance. The solution fired is doing something more than maintenance or not?
Actually, the AI DBA does. You can send email and say that I want to retrieve a data, for example, from that specific table. The good thing about AI DBA compared to Chat GPT, if you ask the same question to the Chat GPT, it will ask you, can you specify through the same format? But in AI DBA, it doesn't. It will basically use the NLP to extract the text and the comments. And because it already know the database structure, the tables, columns, data types, then it already knows that where to go and how to get it.
So it means that they know where to go and how to get a specific response for your questions. But it doesn't make you the report.
It doesn't make you a report. It will just come out with for the time being, it will just extract the data. So if you want a kind of report like joining 2-3 tables, we are still working on it because we don't want to rely on other APIs. So we try to make it customized for ourselves. It's same thing that we have another feature, which is the extensible knowledge base, which AI DBA will look for the error messages, and it will go through internet and it will crawl the contents. Then it will find the most relevant content to that specific error message. So in this case, the DBA doesn't need to do any research about the, the critical errors or severe error and the alerts. The AI DBA will do the research on behalf.
For example, my question will be that, can I ask, what's the last price for this specific part? It can respond. But if I ask that, just give me a report on the price, for example, in the past year, what was the price of this specifically in the past year, it cannot respond.
It can be one data set. It can be multiple columns, multiple rows. It can return it. But if let's say you say that I want to know the last sales per customer, then it's not able to do it. But if you say that I want to have a last sales or the last sales per last quarter, then it's able to respond to you. That's for the time being. Everything is evolving.
So I totally now I get it. So what I can categorize is your AI is a surface for maintenance, majority for maintenance, and responding on a specific question.
Correct. So because when we create this tool, we actually target the DBAs. So DBA usually they don't go for this kind of analytics.
It's really fascinating. So my questions is more right now, it's on the data protections and security of side of it. Of course, when I look at your website, apparently you're looking into it a lot. The question is, here's that. You will have access to someone else's data, which they have their own protection, they have their own system of security. What do you do while you have access in their data in terms of security?
So every query that AI DBA runs is actually marked as AI DBA query. So it has the signature there. And also the login and the permissions that they give us is limited. And also at the same time, AI DBA only does the check on the server. They call it dynamic views, which means that it only retrieves the data which is related to the server maintenance. We don't touch the user data. We don't to extract the tables and the data. We will extract the table structure, like how many columns it has, what's the column name, and what's the data type. But we don't extract the raw data. We don't extract their sales info. We don't extract their employees info. We don't do that. And also the data that we keep in our AI DBA repository is the volatile. So every 6 months we purge the data.
And your data center is in the Canada, or?
We have actually different places. So we have in Canada Central Azure Data Center. In Southeast Asia, we have in Singapore.
Back to the regulations, you are following the local regulations. Such a hard job.
It is. So basically, when there's a client from Canada, we keep all the data inside the Canada, within Canada. And also we try to follow the Canadian data protection rules. Anyhow, what we are collecting is actually, it doesn't violate any data protection rules in anywhere. So we try to encrypt our data in the Azure, and also we purge after 6 months. We don't keep all the data. And some of the data is actually purged after 30 seconds. The next feature we are looking for is the self-healing. So the self-healing feature, which we are still working on it, when there's an error in the system, in the database server, AI DBA will notify the DBA. And it also find out the resolution, the workaround. It send the URL and say that, okay, go through this, and you fix the error. If this error happens again after a week and the DBA doesn't do any changes or try to fix it, it will send a notification, would you like me to do it? So this self-healing, it actually basically go again to the internet, do the research itself, the content checking. Then it will try to identify what it needs to be done, and it will do it automatically. So right now we are working to control the mouse cursor, and the keyboard. So if, let's say, in a web page, it says that, okay, go to the control panel and click on this button or this tab, then based on the image processing and the NLP and the text mining, we will move the cursor to the specific point and we will, submit the right click or left click request. Then if there is any request like typing or something, then automatically needs to be done. So this is a project that we are working on it.
Our next step is show all these things AI DBA to the world. So Microsoft is supporting us with Azure and partnership. We are gold partner at Microsoft. And now our challenge is to find people to show and companies to show our solution because it's unique. We are the first in the world and unique in the world. It's amazing.
I think that is the biggest challenge is that, yeah, we hear about this Chat GPT and we hear about this element, but we see a lot of, it took us a while to get our heads wrapped around what you're trying to do. Then you go to market with that and you're trying to explain that to the business. How do you explain that to the business? How do you show them? How would you show them that this could be beneficial?
One of my clients in Southeast Asia, they come to me and say that, okay, our database ERP system is having terrible performance and we want to fix it. Then I say that, okay, if I want to do it, it will take a lot of time. I have a tool that I can give you for 30 days as a POC. You use it. If you agree with it and it fixes your performance issue, you just subscribe it. That's all. And they use it after a week because it will take about 2 health checks, which is about 1 week to understand the servers and the workload. Then they apply all the recommendations. Instead of only fixing the performance issues, it's actually fix other issues as well. And they were so happy. Then they subscribe until today, and they are, enrolling 13 servers. During POC, it was only 1 server. Now they already enrolled for 13 servers. So yeah, that's how it works. Usually I ask them to use it.
Yeah. And additionally, we are launching our partnership program officially in the world. So from now and on, we are searching for partners to help us with this challenge, to make possible to people, entrepreneurs or DBA professionals or companies to empower their potential to deliver professional services. So that's why we just launched an official partner program.
But it's gotten, like, again, it comes back to a little bit of a trial and error. There is this element of, it's still risky to them because they're uncertain of it. And there's this element of, hey, I need to get them to try it before they buy it.
Yeah. And also, some of our clients, they don't have DBA, so they use it, and one of the person, slowly learn from the AI DBA, the script that generated recommendations. Then they change their title to SQL DBA. So it actually empowered them to change their career as well.
We have 3 words here internally: try, trust, and empower. That's our 3 words here.
Well, something, it sounds like, there could be a challenge here around a marketing challenge to help you get the messaging out and telling the story and communicating that effectively. But gentlemen, it's been amazing learning about this element. My mind is blown. I'm so excited to see where this goes next. I want to see the dashboarding. I want to see where it goes into the next evolution of this. And, hey, why not spend more time? I love spending more time with my family. So I'm sure all the database administrators want to spend more time with their family, as long as they're still making money. But with that in mind, guys, what kind of challenge can you throw out to our UCW students here, our audience? What kind of challenge? Macro, micro challenge, something you're facing, maybe this marketing challenge, maybe it's something else. What can we throw out there?
I mean, technical wise, right now our challenge is to itemize the content in the web. Like, for example, if we found a content in the web, it says that how to fix the error, but it's actually on the the conversational mode, and it doesn't come out with the step by step. How can we change it to the step by step? So, which means that in the paragraph it says that, okay, go to this control panel, or go to this, or run this one and change this value to 1 to 0 or something like that. But it doesn't come out with a step-by-step. It says that bullet point 1, go to control panel. Bullet point 2, click on this icon. Bullet point 3, run this command, and so on. So this is one of the challenge that we have, which I think your students, if they are interested, they can go and search about that. This is the technical.
Yeah, as you can imagine, our challenge in terms of business and marketing is to find the right partners. And it doesn't matter how big they are, we need people that love technology, that want to try the technology for students, like a former students in my case, but we need to find the right partners. And we are doing a great job. Now we have partners in Brazil. We are going to have a huge partner in Chile and South Africa, Singapore, Malaysia, and we want to expand here in Canada. So here is our new home, so we want to expand here.
Awesome. That was really great. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Fabio. And thank you, Hamid. That was another episode of Innovation Fuel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You're listening to Innovation Fuel, a business podcast by University Canada West.
Bringing you fantastic stories from accomplished entrepreneurs and key industry professionals. Let's explore the entrepreneurial world through local businesses and our university community.